Hey YouTube, Estacado 5000 here. What's up? Here's another retro deck profile from the 2009 Shonen Jump Championship Series, Austin, Texas. It's called Lightsworn, so here we go. We got 2 Judgment Dragons. You can only summon this card when you have 4 more Lightsworn monsters with different names in your graveyard. You special summon this, then you can pay 1,000 light points to destroy all other cards on the field except itself. And during each of your end phases, when this card's still face up on the field, you mill the top 4 cards from your deck to the graveyard. So it's a really good monster. Then you got Free Celestia, Lightsworn Angel. What this does is when this is tribute summoned, when you tribute a Lightsworn monster on your field to tribute summon this monster, you can send up the 4 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard to destroy up to 2 cards your opponent controls. So this card's really effective. It's like a little mini Judgment Dragon of sorts. Then you got Free Wolf, the Lightsworn Beast. When this card is sent from the top of your deck to the graveyard via a card effect, this card can be immediately special summoned. This card cannot be normal summoner set. This can also be special summoned through the effect of Lumina, Lightsworn Summoner. Then you got Tulila, which is a built-in Mystical Space Typhoon. When it's on the field, you can change it to defense position to destroy a spell or trap on your opponent's side of the field. But you can't change its battle positions until after the end phase, I believe it's the end of, until the end of your next turn. So that's the effect, but it's a pretty cool effect. And during each end phase, you have to send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then you got 2 Garroth, the Lightsworn Warrior. What this does is, each time a Lightsworn effect that includes milling cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard is activated, this effect would be you mill the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard, and for each Lightsworn monster milled by this card's effect, you draw a card. So it's pretty cool. It adds a lot more resource options. Then you got 2 Lumina, the Lightsworn Summoner. This is like the Monster Reborn for the Lightsworns. When this is on the field, you can discard 1 card from your hand and to special summon 1 Lightsworn monster onto the field. And during each of your end phases, you mill the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then you got 2 Arcus, Lightsworn Druid. What this card does is protects your Lightsworn monsters from card effects, from being targeted by card effects. And during each of your end phases, you mill the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then you got 1 Jane. This gains 300 when it attacks another monster. And during each of the end phases, you mill the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then Aaron, Lightsworn Monk. What this card does is each time this attacks a defense position monster, that monster is returned to the owner's deck. And during each end phase, you mill the top 3 cards. Then you got 1 Raikou to wrap up the Lightsworn monsters. What this card does is when this is flip face up, you can destroy 1 card on the field, then mill the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then you got Free Honest. Basically, you know what this card does? When a light monster you control attacks or is attacked, you can discard this card from your hand to the graveyard, and that monster gains the attack points equal to the monster it attacks or is being attacked by until the end phase of the turn. So it's a pretty good card. Honest is one of the best level 4 monsters in the game, in my opinion. Then you got Free Necro Gardener. This is another good method for Lumina summoning cost. Like if you have a Necro Gardener in your hand, you can discard this to special summon a Lightsworn monster via Lumina. And also you can use this via the effect of the milling effect from the Lightsworn monsters. When this is in the graveyard, when your opponent declares an attack, you can banish this card to negate that attack. So it's pretty awesome. Then you got 1 Plague Spirit Zombie, the tuner of the build, obviously. Then for the spell cards, you got Free Charge of the Light Brigade. You mill the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard to add 1 level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster from your deck to your hand. So you can add like a Lumina, a Lila, a Raikou, Jane, Garroth, whatever you want. There's a lot of options. The only thing you can't add with this is Celestia, unfortunately. Then you got Free Solar Recharge. You discard 1 Lightsworn monster from your hand to draw 2 cards, then mill the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. So if you have like a wolf in your hand and you don't have Lumina in your hand at the moment, you can use Solar to dump the wolf, draw 2 cards, then mill the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then you can normal summon Lumina, discard a card from your hand to special summon the wolf you discarded via Solar Recharge. So there's a lot of options. Then you got 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Pot of Avarice, and 1 Heavy Storm to wrap up the spell cards. Now for the trap cards, you got Free Beckoning Light. What this card does is you discard all the cards in your hand, and then you bring back the same number of light monsters from your graveyard back to your hand, equal to the amount of cards that were in your hand when you discarded them all. So it's pretty cool to bring back the Judgment Dragon that got milled by a Lightsworn effect or was destroyed. You could just bring back Recycle Judgment Dragon. and it's pretty cool. Then you got 2 Fred and Roar to end your opponent's battle phase, to buy you some time. Then you got Mirror Force and Torrential Tribute. Now for the extra deck, you got 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, 1 Armory Arm, 2 Magical Android, 1 Goyo Guardian, 1 Tempest Magician, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Arcanite Magician, 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Fought Rule Archfiend, 2 Colossal Fighter, 1 Avenged Knight Parshaft. So that's the build. Hope you all enjoyed. More videos coming soon. Later, guys.